Waterloo, The Ball at Brussels by Mike Walker. With Simon Paisley Day as Arthur, 1st Duke of Wellington, and Stephen Greif as Prince Talleyrand.
Blackbird here. Huh. Fly. Be safe. Yes. Here I am after all. Did I really get hit? Is this what it's like?
Alors, the situation is, as always, to try and discern the inevitable and expedite its occurrence. However, Bonaparte, escaping from the island of Elba and returning to a Europe he had drenched in war for 20 years, was most definitely one of those inevitables that simply no one expected. And yet, voila, it happened. He landed in France with terrifying ease. He gathered about himself an army of 300,000 experienced men and turned his formidable attention to the so-called Allies, who were celebrating their victory and their renewed ownership of Europe in Brussels.
Looks peaceful.
Don't it?
People going about their business.
Mostly, I should say, people going about other people's business.
You are joking, Duke.
I never joke, Ma'am. I'm noted for my lack of humour. You may ask any number of French marshals, not to mention Portuguese generals and Spanish grandees.
I dare say a sense of humour ain't a great advantage to a soldier. And a ball, Duke. How might that be seen?
Go on.
Do not for a moment think I wish to pry into your secrets.
Well, of course not.
Nor do I wish to know what your intentions may be.
Quite right.
However, I wish to give a ball, and all I ask is, may I give a ball? If you say, Duchess, don't give your ball, that will be quite sufficient. I will ask no questions.
And you ask me?
Who else should I ask?
Well, he's out. He's on his way.
He?
Bonaparte.
And he will certainly be coming.
He wants Brussels, I should say. Both desires and needs the city. The desire and pursuit of the whole.
Arthur?
Aristophanes. Love is simply the desire and pursuit of the whole. Greek playwright.
I dare say Greek was beaten into you as a boy. That generally seems to be how gentlemen learn nowadays.
Not Aristophanes. He was considered somewhat unrespectable. He wrote a comedy about the ladies of Greece withholding their favours from their men until they quit the practice of war.
I can see those sluts and whores in London society doing that. Or here in Brussels, for that matter. I dare say you don't want your young fellows tapped off before battle, then.
A ball is not a bawdy house. You may do with them as you will, as long as they've got spunk enough to fight when they must.
You are certain, Arthur?
I am certain of nothing but of your safety and the safety of your guests. He cannot be here for a week or more. It is impossible.
I've heard that Bonaparte once said impossible is a word only found in the dictionary of fools. Of course, I don't mean...
Then let us hope we don't rue the day, or at least the evening. I trust I'll be invited.
Oh, you'll be the guest of honour, Arthur. And then?
Then it'll be up to them.
Fine fellows.
44th Foot. Essex boys. Scum of the earth, Duchess. You wouldn't trust your wallet, your daughter, or your dog to one of them. But they'll fight. Get some brandy in them and the fear of God behind them. And they'll fight like devils.
You don't believe in inspiration? They say every soldier in Napoleon's army believes he might one day be a marshal.
Every soldier in mine believes he'll be bloody lucky if he avoids the gallows. Soldiers don't respond to kindness, ma'am. They respect firmness and certainty. And honesty, perhaps.
Keep it up there! Damn your eyes! Keep it up! them how we do it in England!
So, how exactly do we do it in England, Sammy?
This is how we do it in England.
Only now we're doing it in Belgium. It is Belgium, ain't it?
It is so, Jack. Bloody Belgium.
Make much of a difference, does it? Belgium, France, Portugal.
Not so you'd notice. Shite holes, a lot of them. Full of shites.
Our side this time.
Eh?
The shites.
Shite on your side is still a shite, Jack. And to my way of thinking, you don't want it on your boot no more if it's yours than if it's his.
Up here for thinking, Samuel, down there for marching.
So, what they like then?
What's who like?
Belgian whores.
Hey, fancy an invite to Fumbler's Hall, does he? Fat, mostly.
Amiable.
Buyable, if you got a tin. Otherwise, it's the corporal and four for you, Sammy boy.
Look at them.
Look at who?
Civilians. Going about it like nothing happened. Like there wasn't a million frogs waiting to crap hello on them. That was a joke.
Yeah, I'd make a note of it, Sammy, if I could write. Fancy stopping off then? Having a chocolate with them too, eh?
They don't know. Bloody laced mutton.
Tasty though.
Not for you and me, Jackie Brown. Not for you and me.
So there is to be a ball after all, Georgie?
So Mamma says. She says the Duke says it will be a sure thing.
And what does the Duke say to you?
Mostly nothing at all.
But you've been about together.
He likes company.
He likes pretty company. And after all, he's a bit of a snob, so they say.
Who says?
Eddie says.
Edward says.
I am sure I don't know what you mean, Georgie.
So Eddie don't say nothing?
Eddie is remarkably discreet.
Oh, what use is a discreet beau?
He ain't a beau.
La, he is, miss.
Shall we go in here?
We can go wherever you want.
Well, I want a hat. A new hat.
Oh, a captivator.
Oh, just a bonnet.
So, what does he say?
He says there is sure to be a battle.
Oh, bloody battles.
Georgie!
Well, ain't they?
Eddie says he hopes for glory. That a fellow may win renown and fame on the battlefield. Look at the Duke. You know him. What would he be without his battles?
A bog Irishman with a big conch.
Oh, that's a rather lovely material.
Do you ever think of anything, Emma, other than...
Does it suit?
Oh, are those Montgolfiers on the pattern?
Are they
Balloons.
balloons?
Oh, I would like to go up in a balloon.
Why on earth?
Not on Earth, Emma, that is the point. Like Madame Blanchard or Mrs. Sage.
Georgie, you do talk nonsense.
Have you ever thought what might happen if he wins? If he comes to Brussels, with an army?
No. Oh, maybe that one. With the sprigs.
What might happen to us?
Oh, look. Georgie, is that not Lieutenant Rudolph? Eddie's friend. Lieutenant! Dear Lieutenant!
When he comes.
If he comes,
He was your damned emperor, Talleyrand. You know him better than most.
no friend of mine, Duke.
Huh, I shouldn't think so, after you put Fat Louis back on the throne. Where is he, anyway, your figurehead?
Our figurehead.
As you will, monsieur.
You know perfectly well, Duke, that I am a prince. I would appreciate at least a modicum of respect.
From the man who saved your ass?
Oh, I can assure you, I was saving my own cool long before you and your allies crossed the borders of France.
Whilst betraying your late masters?
I have, and I have always had but one aim. The preservation of La France.
By God. You think Bonaparte will take you back, don't you?
When he comes,
The Congress at Vienna dished that, surely. You're beyond the pale now.
beyond the pale. No, I do not understand.
There's no one left for you to betray.
Well, as long as men and nations want anything, there is room for negotiation, which is generally only another word for betrayal. You know this as well as I do.
I also know that in the end, civilization is generally saved by a platoon of soldiers. Generally British ones, too.
Well, I'm not certain Marshal Blucher would agree. Perhaps English gold, but certainly and always at the very end, there is talking.
Then here's some straight talking, Prince. Will Louis XVIII of France be joining us in Brussels to stand shoulder to nose, he's quite short, I believe, His Majesty, with his allies in defence of whatever patchwork solution to this mess you fellows stitched together in Vienna?
Well, I think you know the answer to that question already.
Only a fool asks a question to which he doesn't know the answer in our business.
So, His Majesty's decisions since the arrival of the Corsican ogre have been...
Universally 100% wrong, which even for a French king is somewhat impressive. And now he's keeping his fat head down?
Very sensible for a figurehead, wouldn't you say? In the nation that invented the guillotine. Why do you ask what you know already?
Because I will need him.
To lead a charge against Ney?
After the battle, I will need him to open my way into the heart of France, which, as I am sure you are well aware, Prince, is as crammed full with Bonapartists as is a tin of portable soup. With soup.
Is that a bon mot, Duke?
No, it's a straight bloody warning. When I want him, will you have him?
If you want him, if you win.
You really don't give a damn, do you?
As long as I get my dinner every day. After all, can you think of any other pleasure that is so regular and takes up no more than 1 hour? If you are victor, you will have your king. Have no fear of that, Duke.
I shall continue to bask in your confidence, Prince. Thank you. Good day to you.
Your very humble servant, Duke.
Oh, one thing.
Yes?
Will you be at the ball?
Is that a metaphor? If so, then I am at every ball, as I am at every table. That matters.
The Duchess of Richmond's ball here in Brussels, this Thursday.
Ah, that one. I'm surprised you have time for balls, Duke. Such frippery.
You know as well as I do that things are poised on a knife edge here. One sniff of panic and the civilians will run like civilians. If the army sees that, then I fear all the flogging in Hades will not stop a collapse of morale.
How very interesting.
Obvious, I would have thought.
Oh, no, you mistake me. On a knife edge. Another English expression? Do not the English eat their peas on a knife? Good day.
So that is the arbiter of Europe.
Poisonous little bastard. Not to be trusted any further than one might throw him, Eddie. And he's not.
Not
to be invited to the ball.
But surely, sir, if he's in town, won't the Duchess... And doesn't the Duchess generally get what she wants? After all, he is Talleyrand.
Nevertheless, I do not want him there. It'll do no good and possibly cause a great deal of mischief.
I'm not sure how even you will persuade the Duchess, sir.
I won't. You will.
Ah.
You know the Richmond daughter, I believe?
Georgiana is the friend of my Emma.
That's why I have you, my boy. Off you go now.
Off you go! I want the chandelier glass sparkling. Am I clear? Sparkling like stars overhead. Not, of course, that there would be stars below, unless one were looking in remarkably still waters.
Madame?
They say still waters run deep, Monsieur Carrette. Do you run deep, may one inquire?
As deep as may be required, madame. I await your instructions as to the food.
Yes. There will need to be 2 soups.
Curried turtle, soup glacé à la Celestine.
Perfect. Relève?
Salmon with sauce genovese, sturgeon au bleu and sauce provençale. 4 grosses pièces to follow. Chicken Montmorency, filet de bœuf à la Périgord, ham glazed.
On a pediment. Eddie.
Duchess, I hope I'm not
Game
interrupting.
pâté on a pedestal.
Not at all. How are you? Avid for battle, I dare say, like all you young bucks. hot entree, a pheasant à la con?
Parfait, madame. Chicken regence, game pâté.
Oh, not again.
Perhaps more avid for your ball than for battle
À
or
la
such.
royale.
Very well. How sweet of you, Eddie. And dear Emma?
I believe she's shopping with Georgiana for a bonnet or some such thing.
Rice casserole garnished with puree de
Say a
game.
bonnet is a thing, Eddie, to any girl you wish to make love to.
Cold entrée, Duchess. Île galantine au beurre Montpellier.
Madame, I assure you, it is the last thing I would think of.
You may assure me of nothing, Eddie, as far as the fair sex goes, and nowadays I fear they go a great deal too far. Fowl in jellied mayonnaise, noix de veau spotted with jellied ham.
Parfait. And woodcock salmis en gelée.
So, Eddie, what brings you to my preparations? Roasts?
No, Duchess.
Naturally, chicken and egg sauce, teals with lemon, capons with egg,
Oh,
and quail.
too many chickens.
The Duke asked me.
And besides, there's something about a capon, don't you think?
Or something lacking.
Balls.
Yes, Duchess, your ball and...
Not the best dish for soldiers, perhaps. Very well. Veal in gelée.
And does Her Grace require grosse pièce d'entremet?
What have you to offer?
It is quite important, Duchess, that I
And
get...
my ball is not? Monsieur Carrette?
A Roman villa on a rocky crag, a Venetian fountain, an Irish pavilion on a bridge.
An homage to our dear Duke.
Exactly,
Duchess.
And a Persian pavilion on a rocky crop out.
Outcrop.
Ah,
Eddie.
Prince Talleyrand.
contrived from the finest white sugar.
I believe Bonaparte once called him shite in a silk stocking.
Sculpted, set, and
He was
spun
ordained as a priest,
required.
you know, but I believe he's been through more women than Dr. Bollock's balsam.
To be combined with ice genoa in tears.
Duchess, I shall be in tears if I cannot deliver my message.
Iced tears.
Don't be silly. Do you know, Monsieur Carrette, I used to bath this hulking great bear of a fellow when he was a tiny boy. Known him all his life. Tears, forsooth. Go on.
The Duke would rather you did not actually...
And moulds, chef. There must be moulds.
If you were thinking of inviting said prince...
Mama, there you are.
Certainly I am here, my dear girl. Thinking, Eddie.
Mousse framboise.
Eddie! I was only with Emma moments since.
Georgie, how nice
Of
to...
inviting...
Orange gelée, gooseberry.
She was divine in her bonnet, but I do wish sometimes, dear Eddie.
That you would not, Duchess.
Perfect. But perhaps more than perfect would be...
One more?
Eddie, are you all right?
Not invite...
Prince Talleyrand.
Horrid man. He put his hand down my décolletage. It was like being crawled over by an infinitely old lizard.
Liqueur des îles, gelée.
Wouldn't think of it.
But, madame, it is perfect.
Now, Eddie, before you go, we must have a talk. You are falling down on your duties as Emma's Cavaliere Romantica.
Of course, Georgie. Duchess?
Liquor des Îles, yes. Prince Talleyrand, no. Thank you, Monsieur Carrette. That will be all. I'm infinitely obliged to you for your very kind attentions. And the heights. I expect only the heights of your art.
Duchess, your servant.
What do you think, Eddie? Will this room do for my ball?
Isn't the chandelier somewhat low and looming, Mother?
Never fear. They will not notice because they will be dancing, my dear. Dancing they will be.
So, I may tell the Duke?
But you, dear Eddie, you will be here and dancing with your dear Emma.
If my duties allow, Duchess.
I shall have a word with the dear Duke, Eddie.
That man does get rather above himself, does he not?
The Duke?
The Duke? What about the Duke? Duke's a tenner penny round here. It's Monsieur Carrette. Securing and keeping a good chef is harder than finding a virgin in Mayfair. Georgiana, I shall want your eye for my dressmaker.
Georgie? Something about Emma?
She misses you, but I fear... Your friend, Rudolph. I really do, Eddie. Look to your sweetheart. Look to your friend.
Rudolph? No, he's a stout fellow.
You're all stout fellows, Eddie, until there's a game pullet in the ring, and then you're terriers to a rat.
And so it goes. Round and round, and nobody knows where it might stop. But everybody fears that man Bonaparte. And they wait, and they scurry like ants under a kettle of boiling water as his army approaches. But do they fear him? Or do they fear their own fear of his reputation?
Punishment will proceed! Corporal! One!
Stupid bugger.
What's he supposed to do, Sammy?
Not turn up at muster swilled as a tinker.
Fella needs a wet sometimes.
Oh, skin off his back already. He won't make it through's my wager.
He's tough. He'll make it.
It's all fiddler's tin, ain't it? What the knobs do, what we don't.
Up there for dancing. Down here for flogging.
Down here for dying, Jackie.
No, they die just like we die, mate. It's getting there is the difference. Hear that?
Think I'm bloody deaf?
Nah, that's what I tell you? Dancing.
They're bloody dancing. Bloody Bonaparte's on the way. Are they bloody mad, Jack?
Silence in the ranks! Lest you want some too! Carry on! 9!
Off their hooks, the lot of them. It's all a Banbury story. And who's to pay the piper?
So, if I go, Jack, if I go, are you going with me?
When?
11!
Tonight, whilst those jammy bastards are dancing, we'll be running.
Hey, we could do it, you know.
We could.
Punishment carried out, Sergeant!
And after all, what is a reputation? It goes before a man like a gigantic shadow, casting its cold shape upon the earth, freezing courage and hope. But in the end, it is merely a shadow and a shadow dance.
His Excellency, General Pozzo de Borgo. His Highness, the Prince of Orange, and Prince Frederick of Orange.
I believe he is very famous.
Orange? Yes,
General
I believe it.
Pozzo de Borgo.
General
Shall we dance?
You should dance with Emma. You haven't seen her since we talked.
I've been away with Marshal Blucher. I missed the dinner.
Countess.
It was considered quite good. There'll be a supper later.
Is it me, or do you seem cold tonight, Georgie?
It don't signify, but you must not go away tomorrow without you speak to Emma. Don't you see, Eddie? It's a battle.
Not tomorrow, but presently. Yes, a battle.
What if you were to... if something were to happen? Oh, I am sorry, Eddie. This is supposed to be...
Duke of Wellington!
I have to go. He knows that you may need me.
Emma needs you, Eddie.
Count and Countess Marcy d'Argenteuil.
10 guineas on gun. Only 10? Ain't got a lot of confidence then. All the confidence in the world.
Charlotte, you've done us proud.
Nothing stops me when I am in full fig, Arthur. I am noted for getting what I want.
Then maybe you can get me a few thousand extra men.
Not to be had, Duke.
I'm sure if they were, Richmond would find them for you.
I've no doubt of it, Richmond. Hello, young Eddie. Here you are.
I delivered the dispatches, sir, and I have a letter from the Marshal.
If you'll excuse me.
Is he confident, old Blucher?
You know these Prussians, they'd not admit to a weakness whilst they've still breath in their bodies. I do believe that if his men are drivable, then he will drive them.
By God, we'll need him.
Richmond, enough doom and gloom. Go, be a host. Dance, chatter in a lively manner. Eddie, have you eaten? I will admit you early so you may sample. Come.
Well? Bonaparte engaged with the Prussians this afternoon. It was hot stuff. Damned hot. That we knew.
Conclusive?
By no means, thank God. They came through it. Their forward positions were taken or driven back. Bonaparte stands between us.
Is that good or bad? You can both attack.
Or be attacked one by one. You know what I don't like?
Or
Him holding the cards. He has the weakest hand, but somehow... What is it about that fat little bastard? You know what I do like?
pray tell.
A pretty woman. If I may, I will take your lady onto the floor.
You may well.
You dance?
I dance, yes, Lieutenant Rudolph. I dance as you see me now.
Oh, what I mean to say...
What you mean to say is to issue a compliment as to the quality of my dancing.
That is indeed what I mean to say.
Then tell me, Lieutenant Rudolph, are you qualified to make such a judgment? Are you, in other words, a dancer?
That's not for me to judge.
Oh, pish! You were just about to judge my dancing. Why start being modest now?
You are a terrific girl, Emma.
And are you qualified to judge?
I rest my case. Eddie is a lucky man.
Eddie is an invisible man of late.
We are all of us under orders, Emma. Eddie no less than any of us.
Is it all so urgent?
Nobody knows.
Doesn't he know? The Duke.
If so, he's not telling. What will be, will be. Tonight, at least, we may enjoy ourselves. You are warm. May I offer you a flummery or some such? I believe there is lemonade.
You must never tell a lady she is warm, Lieutenant. It is very forward of you. Yes, let us have a glass. Of champagne. The Duchess only orders the best, I'm told. Though rarely pays for it, I'm told.
And there you are, saying you find balls tedious, Arthur. And it is not true at all.
I'm a master of misdirection, Charlotte.
So, may one ever believe anything you say?
With caution. You may believe me now, Charlotte, when I say I am glad you have given your ball. It is a thing to have done, eh, with a certain élan.
Éclat, as Bonaparte might say.
A moment. The Prince of Orange. Do excuse me. Prince.
My son is about to leave, as you ordered, Duke.
Good. Tell him. Go fast. I want scouts, pickets. They are to keep their eyes skinned. If he's coming, we must know as soon as possible.
We cannot
jump, lest we land in the wrong place and find a knife in our backs. We must hold our nerve and wait. Tell the lad to slip away if he can. The less noise we make.
Like a mouse, sir.
Luck, go with us, Prince.
God go with us all, sir.
God goes with the big battalions, I find.
I beg your pardon?
Oh, nothing at all, Duchess. I was, Oh, the dance is over.
Oh, there are more dances, Duke. But I have arranged a diversion for our foreign guests. I thought it might amuse them. The Gordon Highlanders are to dance their Scottish dances for us.
Syllabub?
Champagne will be sufficient.
And your mamma lets you drink?
My mamma is not here, Lieutenant. Indeed, we are alone together.
At a ball? Surrounded by so many people?
It is a state of mind, don't you agree? Being together, two people, at such a time.
Damn it all, Rudolph! Take your hand off Miss Parker.
Eddie, my dear fellow.
There you are.
Damn you, let her be.
Oh, come. I was offering her a glass of...
Oh! Eddie, stop! You're all right, Rudolph.
Don't fret, there's no
You were
harm.
supposed to be my friend.
I am your friend. That is why I was escorting Miss Emma, since you were not.
That's enough, Eddie.
You will make your love to her, damn it.
That's a damned lie.
It was nothing, for heaven's sake, Eddie.
He had his hand on you and you were hot.
That's enough. Apologize.
Please, both of you, not here. Not here.
I said it and I won't unsay it.
Eddie, don't be a bloody fool. If you won't take it back...
I won't.
Then shall we step outside to continue this discussion?
No, you cannot. You simply cannot.
Wait here, Emma.
Please, it'll be all right.
Wait! Wait!
Champagne?
I'll stay with claret. I don't want to change horses in midstream. I'll need a clear head.
What does he want? Can he really think of destroying the Allies?
I doubt it, Richmond. Even he might balk at that.
Given that he's not a fool,
And he's not.
and he's outnumbered and outgunned, he can't win.
He doesn't have to win. He only has not to lose, my dear fellow. To stay in the game and leave the rest to that snake Talleyrand.
Isn't he our snake?
I doubt that even he knows whose snake he is. He's far too canny to tell himself in case he lets it out by accident.
They do say that if you shake hands with a man, you should count your fingers.
Never mind your fingers. Look to your bloody arm.
The Jansenist fathers of Port-Royal used to say, purity of heart is to will one thing. In Bruxelles, there are 7 allies, 7 foreign policies, 7 economies, 700 different aims, whereas Bonaparte wills but one thing, to parlay himself into a position in which he stays as Emperor of the French. If he can create a stalemate, then he might very well write the score for Europe to dance to for the next century. If.
Still bloody dancing then. Saw Will-o'-the-Wisp once. Scared the breeches off me.
Hey? What's that then?
Down by the river when I was a lad. Walking home one time, midnight or later, and there's this light dancing across the water. Very still, very dark. Never saw a light so bright. Flickering here and there, reflecting in the water. So bright I could see it dancing for the rest of the night, whenever I shut my eyes.
Well, Sammy, are we sleeping or are we dancing?
Dancing, I suppose.
No point in hanging around here, then.
Got all you need. Travel light. There'll be stuff to find. Always stuff when there's a battle. People don't think so much about tomorrow. Wait. Right.
Are we wise going this way?
What's anyone to know? We've been told off to take a message to... pick a name, Jack. Any name. There's so many of the buggers here.
Oh, well, maybe some of them can get killed this time.
I dare say they will. All I know is it won't be me and it won't be you. We'll be living high in some tap room in wherever.
Wherever?
Somewhere else, Jackie.
Only they... Oh, wait! Don't blow the wid, someone coming.
Here is good enough.
I wish you would think about this, Eddie. It's not as if you're drunk.
You know I'm not.
You're being insufferably pompous and stupid. I remember at school you'd get into the same state of mind, off like a Bengal rocket. Bang, stars everywhere, and then it was all too late and you generally ended up with a flogging for your trouble.
Sword's good enough for you?
You know I'm a better fencer than you. You'll be hurt, Eddie, even if I don't intend to. Oh, can't we talk?
It's gone too far for that.
God in heaven, man.
Are you afraid to fight me, Rudolph? Is that what I should tell people?
Last chance, Eddie. And for what?
Idiot! What are you thinking of, Eddie? Put it away!
Georgie, you don't understand. This is...
Understand that. And that! Now what are you going to do? Fight me too? Emma is in tears. She's quite overcome. There's a battle to fight, and you two idiots...
Don't blame me, Georgie.
What's that you've got in your hand, Rudolph?
I was trying to talk some sense into him.
With a sword? Eddie, Rudolph was escorting Emma because she was on her own.
But didn't you say
I said nothing. Do you understand that? You have a regiment, both of you. You have men who depend on you, a country that depends on you. I depend on you, and so does Emma. You might think of her instead of yourself, Eddie. Indeed, I rather wonder what you were thinking of, if you were thinking at all.
Oh, Rudolph, I behaved like the horse's arse. Please, accept my apologies in this matter.
Accepted. Shall we get a drink?
Oh.
Shall we go to Emma before the poor girl soaks every one of my wipes?
Half sea's over. The pair of them.
You never punched anyone because of a pullet?
Either a duke, maybe, but a bunter. Never. So we get a move on then.
Right. Need to be well clear by morning.
Spot on, Jack. Clean pair of Bluchers. Sitting in a tap room. Mug of ale.
Mug of ale. Oh.
So,
better be getting back then before they miss us.
never mind them knobs with their swords. It's you and me, Jack. We're stupid. Hunting rabbits with a dead ferret.
So, that will-o'-the-wisp thing you saw,
Yeah.
what was it then, in the end?
I don't know. A light, dancing, like he wanted me to follow it.
Did you, Sammy?
If I had, I'd have walked into the river and drowned. That's how it is with will-o'-the-wisps, Jack. You follow them, and you end up dead.
You are looking, if I might say so, my dear, a little incommode.
Everything is so put about, Duke. It's hard to know where we stand.
Soon enough, we shall stand facing the French, I believe.
Will it be terrible?
It will be what it is, Miss Georgie. We must take our chances, but if we can, prepare well.
All our friends and the...
You are upset.
No. Yes, perhaps. Things happen.
And we get to the other side of the hill, or we do not.
Can you tell me why men fight, Duke?
I can't tell you that. Only that they do, and always will.
Then what do we do?
May I give you something, my dear?
Yes. Yes.
It's a miniature. Some Dutch fellow painted it. I believe it is a good enough likeness.
Oh, it is very like.
Then I should wish to leave it with someone young and beautiful.
Sir, from the Prince of Orange.
Thank you. Georgiana, please excuse me.
Richmond. News?
The Prussians have been hard at it, and Bonaparte is coming up on Quatre Bras far faster than I ever thought possible. The little French bastard is going to kick my ass if I'm not very careful.
It might be better, Arthur, to be a tad more genteel when you report this conversation to the historians.
Let's get through the next few days and ensure it's Wellington's boot up his fat arse before we worry about that. We can take care of the history later. Uxbridge!
Sir.
Tell those gentlemen who have engaged partners to finish their dance and get to their quarters as fast as they may.
Very good.
There's no time to lose.
If they're not in uniform,
Let them fight in what they wear. Richmond, have your man.
In my study.
Gentlemen, to your quarters immediately.
What is it? What is happening?
It is happening, Mamma. The gentlemen have been told off to report.
They can't leave. There is the cotillion. The cotillion has not been half taken.
I think they must, or it will be Bonaparte's men who'll be partaking.
But they cannot. My ball. Lieutenant Rudolph, surely you cannot desert me so early.
I would not, and yet I must, Duchess. We all must.
It is a thunderclap.
I will walk you to the door, if I may.
Colonel Chalker, Sir Henry, you are not deserting me too.
I cannot thank you enough for tonight, Georgie. I don't know what gets into him sometimes.
I think you are all of you at Anton, Rudolph. Who can blame you?
I would not have wanted to part bad friends.
And yet you were making love to Emma, were you not? Or you have been these past days.
She is delightful, but...
Empty-headed? Does that mean she deserves less than respect? Surely.
Just as you, dear Georgie, are the most brilliant woman I know.
And yet I hardly know you at all. Where did you come from? Huh? Were you truly at school with Eddie? You know he does not remember you.
Then perhaps I am no more than a will-o'-the-wisp, dancing on the waters, and then... Good night, sweet lady, good night. Good night.
Is that not supposed to be my line?
Still at it then. Down there for dancing, up there for thinking. Only we didn't do much of that.
Nah, we couldn't have done it. Not run. Not really.
Yeah, but I could have done it.
But you didn't.
No.
And here we are.
But we won't be soon. We'll be there.
Come on, you two. Step it up. We ain't got all night.
Sergeants. Shite 'em.
Well, shite a couple for me, son. 'Cause we're the only buggers ever do any work around here.
I have to go.
I don't want you to go, Eddie. It's as if I've only just found you again.
God, I was such a fool, Emma. I'm so sorry.
But I forgive you, Eddie. Of course I do. Why would I not?
You are so generous. After all that stupidity, you can still find it in your heart to care for me.
But of course I do, because I know your heart is true, Eddie. You were going to risk your life for me. No one has ever fought a duel over Georgie.
It was rather exciting, wasn't it?
Like something in Byron, if only it had been on a rocky crag.
I wish we were on a rocky crag at this very moment, my sweet. All alone, just you and me. But it cannot be. I must go, my dear sweet girl. I must.
One kiss. One kiss. Now go, my love. Do not look back. Go, go, go.
Such a sweet boy.
Eddie. Oh, quite sweet. But don't you think Lieutenant Rudolph is somehow more Byronic?
You are a very wicked girl.
Ain't I? And now all the boys are gone. What shall we do?
Well, Mama is still paying for the orchestra, and they are still playing for us. So we'll just have to dance together. Shall I lead?
That's pretty much the ground to the south.
Humbugged.
Hmm?
He thinks he's humbugged me.
Has he?
What he's done is tell me what his intentions are. Before, there were always three possibilities. Grouchy, Ney, Bonaparte. He could swing to the left or right, or cohere and do as he is now doing.
He wants Brussels.
Which means we shall have to hold him here at Quatre Bras and stop him here at Waterloo. They're still playing.
They're still playing.
Is he done for?
One for the cold cook, Jack.
Poor bastard. Emma? Are you there? Such a foolish thing to... My foot hurts. My foot... I think I caught it. Am I dead? Is this what it's like? The sky. I can see...
In France, in the days of the Revolution, Liberté wore a cap. At Waterloo, the Allies wished to place a cap firmly upon Liberté and seal it back in the bottle. However, as anyone who has ever read the delightful tales of the Arabian Nights will tell you, once the cap is off the bottle and the genie is out,
in Waterloo, the Ball at Brussels by Mike Walker, Arthur Wellesley, the Duke of Wellington, was Simon Paisley Day, Prince Talleyrand was Stephen Greif, and Charlotte, Duchess of Richmond, Jane Slavin. The Duke of Richmond was David Hounslow, Eddie, Neat Mohan, and Rudolph, Mark Edel Hunt. Emma was Rhiannon Needs, Georgiana, Alex Tregear, and the Prince of Orange, Stephen Critchlow. The chef was Sam Dale, and the equerry, David Acton. The director was Marion Nan Caro.